Young and the Restless spoilers next week that the plot is full of drama, a flash of light that makes everyone stagnant. Lily, with a powerful and calm appearance, walks out of the conference room with a tense face. She has just finished an urgent meeting, a meeting that marked the end of a chapter in her life at Chancellor. Lily's anger arises from Billy Abbott's betrayal. She has discovered that Billy not only betrayed her but also slept with Chelsea, which has ignited a fire of revenge in her. She decides that Billy needs to learn a hard lesson for his actions. Devin Hamilton, her close brother, supports this decision and advises her to take action to ensure that Billy cannot destroy the company or their lives again. Meanwhile, Billy has sought out Jack Abbott, his brother who is always there to support him in every situation. When Billy opened up about what happened to Chelsea and Adam Newman, Jack listened patiently and was willing to help his brother find a way out. Although their relationship was not always close, Jack's determination and loyalty to his family were undeniable. Lily then updated Devin on the situation. She admitted that she had gone too far in punishing Billy and had been fired from the company. The conversation between the two siblings was not just a simple complaint about work, but also a moment for both of them to share their deepest thoughts and feelings. Lily then had a conversation with Nikki Newman, who was investigating Billy. Nikki, with her wisdom and experience, sought to gather information that could be used to deal with Billy. She even offered to share some documents from Catherine Chancellor's past, hoping that it could help them better understand the current situation and how to approach Billy. During lunch with Devin, Lily regrets her actions and refuses to get involved in any plots with Devin or Jill Abbott. She decides that she needs to take matters into her own hands, even though Devin encourages her that Billy will eventually destroy the company. With Victor's encouragement, Nikki decides to sit down and have a frank talk with Lily. She suggests sharing some old photos and letters that may relate to Billy's past and present. As the night progresses, the question becomes whether Lily will be able to let go of her grudge, or will she continue to watch and try to resolve things peacefully? In the complex world of the young and the restless, each character is faced with difficult challenges and decisions, and each choice will lead them down new paths with consequences no one can foresee. The story begins when Billy Abbott, in a moment of weakness, makes a mistake with Chelsea, which not only has consequences in his personal life but also leads to a series of events that affect those around him. When the truth is revealed to Jack, a brother who always values truth and family, Jack feels hurt but still decides to stand by his brother, even though he still feels suspicious. Lily, a strong and independent woman, feels betrayed that the man she once trusted and loved could do such a thing to her. Her anger is not only due to the betrayal but also due to the deep disappointment in a relationship she thought was solid. Devin Hamilton, her best friend and close ally, gives her strong advice. Billy needs a lesson that he will never forget. Devin, with his intelligence and calculation, supports Lily in this plan of revenge, even though he knows that it can be a risky path. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott becomes Billy's emotional support. The two brothers have deep conversations where Billy reveals his mistakes and regrets. Jack, although heartbroken by his brother's choices, shows sympathy and is willing to support Billy through this difficult time. They are not just brothers but companions, ready to face any challenges life throws at them. After being counseled by Devin and Nikki, Lily begins to realize that holding grudges does not solve problems but only distances her from herself and those around her. She decides not to participate in Devin's or anyone else's schemes, even though she still feels hurt and betrayed. Nikki shares photos and letters from Catherine Chancellor's past, an inspiration for resilience and forgiveness. Nikki, with her wisdom, helped Lily see the problem more clearly and understand the importance of maintaining personal dignity and integrity in all situations. Psychological storms begin to form as Sharon Newman's dark past returns to haunt her life once again. Cameron Kirsten, a villain from her past, has disappeared from the real world, but he has become a ghost in Sharon's mind. His presence is a painful reminder of what Sharon has been through, and he now pits her against a never-ending psychological war. Meanwhile, Faith is suffering from a guilt that no one can understand. The accident happened off-screen, but what Faith feels and does suggests something much more serious than it appears. Faith keeps apologizing, but it's not out of ordinary remorse. There's something secret, a terrible truth that she's hiding, something that makes her feel responsible for more than just the accident. Faith keeps replaying the incident in her mind, as if trying to change the outcome, or at least find a way to explain what happened. This repetition only increases the suspicion of those around her that there is some secret that Faith is not ready to reveal. And the biggest question is, was this accident really as harmless as everyone thinks, or was it just the tip of a larger conspiracy going on? Nick Newman, worried and confused about Sharon and Faith's condition, turns to Phyllis Summers. For Phyllis, this is a chance to prove herself and find the redemption she has long desired. Phyllis and Nick's relationship has always been complicated, but this time, she decides to help him in the hopes of not only regaining his trust but also finding the big story that could change everything. Phyllis begins to investigate Cameron and his connection to Sharon. She realizes that, in order to save Sharon, she needs to better understand what Cameron is doing and why he has such a strong influence. This sends Phyllis on a dangerous journey where she must confront not only Cameron's secrets but also the dark corners of Sharon's psyche. As Sharon and the Newman family become entangled in a whirlwind of mystery and intrigue, Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins face their own challenges. Their family business, Jawboat, is on the brink of collapse, and they are forced to make extreme decisions to protect it. Jack and Diane's son, Kyle Abbott, decides to use a jackhammer to attack Jawboat, a bold but risky strategy. Kyle knows that his decision could have dire consequences, not only for the company but for himself. However, he feels that this is the only way to keep Jawboat alive. At the same time, Kyle also had to deal with Victor Newman, who tried to convince him to hire a replacement for Claire. Kyle refused, insisting that he would not let anyone else replace Claire, despite Victor's pressure. Victor, with his stubborn personality and the depth of his plans, did not give up easily. He always got what he wanted, and this time was no exception. Victor's loving guidance was not only aimed at Kyle, but also a strategy to control everything around him, including the psychological manipulation of Claire, something reminiscent of the deception and control Jordan had used in the past. The darkness of the past has begun to envelop Sharon Newman's life. The return of Cameron Kirsten, albeit in a hallucination, has created a constant mental battle for Sharon, as he continues to intrude on her mind and life. Cameron's presence is not only a painful reminder of Sharon's dark past, but also a test of her ability to stand firm in the face of his dangerous provocations. Sharon tries her best to resist Cameron's influence, but his pressure only grows heavier. Cameron not only appears in hallucinations, but also interrupts Sharon's conversations, giving her orders and instructions on how to react in certain situations. This terrifying presence makes Sharon feel like she is losing control, gradually pushing her to the brink of despair. Cameron constantly pressures Sharon to reveal her darker side, challenging her with questions of justice and revenge. Fans saw Sharon get angry at Cameron, but this caused Nick Newman, who was always worried about her, to think that Sharon was yelling at him. This confusion only added to the tension between the two, as Nick failed to understand the internal struggle Sharon was facing. Sharon, under Cameron's influence, criticized her daughter Faith Newman for her apologies after the accident. To Sharon, it was all Lucy Romolotti's fault, a thought that didn't make sense but was planted in her mind by Cameron. These negative emotions sent Sharon into a spiral of anger and revenge that she never thought she would face. Meanwhile, Faith Newman was suffering from a heavy sense of guilt over the accident she had just experienced. Faith's constant apologies and her overwhelming sense of guilt seemed to imply that the accident was more than just a random incident. Faith keeps replaying the incident in her mind, as if hiding a bigger secret. This accident, which took place off-screen, was more than just an accident. It holds a deeper mystery that Faith is not ready to reveal. Is there something darker and more serious going on, and is Faith's guilt about hiding some terrible truth? This mystery affects not only Faith, but also the entire Newman family as they try to understand what really happened. Nick Newman, in his search for answers and help, confides in Phyllis Summers. For Phyllis, this is a perfect opportunity to get the big story, and find the redemption she has always craved. Phyllis knows that if she can help Nick and the Newman family through this ordeal, she will not only gain their trust, but also restore her honor. She begins to dig deeper into the connection between Cameron and Sharon, trying to find clues to help Sharon escape the psychological pressure from Cameron. While Sharon and the Newman family are facing personal difficulties, Jack Abbott and Diane are also fighting to protect their family and their company, Jawboat. They are forced to take extreme actions to prevent the collapse of everything they have built. Kyle Abbott, Jack and Diane's son, has decided to use a jackhammer to attack Jawboat, a decision he may regret in the near future. Kyle has also made it clear to Victor Newman that he will not hire a replacement for Claire, a challenging decision for Victor. However, Victor is not one to give up easily. He always gets what he wants, and this time is no exception. Victor's loving guidance may remind Claire of Jordan's past deception and control. This creates a potential danger for all involved. Sharon's journey with Cameron continues, as she faces the growing obsession and pressure from her dark past. Meanwhile, Faith must confront the secret behind her guilt, and whether or not this truth will ever be revealed remains to be seen. Phyllis has a chance to redeem herself, but will she succeed as things around her become more complicated? Jack and Diane are also in the midst of a fight for survival to protect their family and their company, with extreme decisions and unforeseen consequences. Subscribe to Yonder for the latest news on our channel.